How's it going, guys? JayDYGO, and this is episode 8 of Road to Mastery, and it's going to be a little bit different than the other ones. There's actually no actual replays in here, but this is the recap of YCS Raleigh. It was an absolute blast, so I didn't record a lot of actual footage, so there's just going to be a lot of pictures. There's a little bit of footage here and there, but it just seems awkward because I only recorded like the beginning part of it, and I never came back, so we're going to just do a little bit more recapping, some photos, and honestly, that's about the episode there. For YCS Raleigh, I did take Snake Eye to it. I did play a small corridor package to get Colossus on field, and then I followed Zach Butler's list, and I also put the Red Dragon Archfiend package in the extra deck. Other than that, I thought the deck played great. I just did not, but we'll get to that in the recap. But guys, without further ado, let's just jump in. So after a pretty quick 4-hour drive from where we're at to Raleigh, we get to the convention center for pre-registration, and it is absolutely insane. The first day, just even seeing that, I know there was a ton of people, but I know during the day of, there was 1,900 people that played all together, so an insane number, which was super cool, but again, a little overwhelming because that's a lot of people. But it was just amazing seeing everyone come and play this game, just enjoying the game together. I don't know, it was great to be there, you know, like the energy just felt good. So we're done with pre-registration. Me and Evie are going to get back to the Airbnb, wait for Harrison, Aiden, and Trevor, and we'll just take the video from there. What's going on, guys? JayDYGO, and we're at our Airbnb in Raleigh because we're here for the YCS. So for this episode of Road to Mastery, it's going to be a little bit different since I can't really fully record in the YCS, so it'll be snippets of everything I can do. But we're here with Night Shift, we're here with Asmafet, Harrison, and Trevor as well. My wife is behind the camera here, so very cool, but we're all here in Raleigh. Gonna have a pretty good time. I want to say, I hope we do well. We are on Snake Eyes. I'll show the deck list a little bit later here, but I don't know, it's going to be a great time. All of our friends are here from the deck box, and you know, our sponsors, SmartTCG and Grimoire Accessories, thank you so much for giving me some cool stuff, just so we can wrap it off at the YCS. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I think it's going to be pretty much a doozy. So we do have our entry packs for the YCS. We have our 5 Finite, and actually, this is my first YCS ever. We get these little pre-registration coins, so I'm super excited to see that. But we'll do that at the end, because yeah, I will hopefully it's cool. I don't really know, but I'm getting excited here. Alright, so for entry. Since Evie's pointing it down, we'll go... Oh, cool, Spirit of You Bell, nice. We're just gonna skip right to it, there's no point in going through all the commons here. Alright, so for our second pack here, we're gonna see... an Ashen card. I know they're getting support in the new stuff, but... what was it? Today is April 19th as well. So tomorrow was actually the sneak peek, so I'm not sure how they've done it in the past, if it's gonna be at the YCS or not, but if it's not, we're gonna try to find a local card shop and just go do the sneak peek. Alright, let's see, something crazy? Nope. I don't even know how to pronounce the whole card, but I don't know. If we can get another, what was it, a QCR Princess, that'd be kind of cool. Nope, nothing looking crazy yet. Let's see, our friend Dylan ended up pulling the QCR Horus monster, so that was really cool. And then another guy pulled the other QCR, like, card knot thingy, but I don't think it's the QCR here, guys. Oh, no, it's not. But it's an Ultra, and that is something. We will take that. Alrighty, cool. So, unfortunate a bust on that, but let's see what our registration coin's gonna be. Not even looking. Oh, it's silver, darn. But what is it? Oh, whoa, it's Skull Servant. Look at that. Very cool. Alrighty, okay, cool. Well, now that's ready. We're probably gonna do some testing tonight with Night Shift. And yeah, hopefully everything works out tomorrow. So, see ya. So, this is the final list I decided to take to the YCS. In the extra deck, I did follow Zach Butler's extra deck idea and do the Red Dragon Archfiend package, but I also put in the Nemesis Corridor package to make Colossus if I could, mainly because I knew there was going to be a lot of voice lists, just other decks that we'll add also, so if I end with Snake Eye and a Colossus, it's just going to be an uphill battle for them. The side deck is a little questionable. I did put some extra options that just don't make sense for some folks, but of course I'm putting the Bestials in, DD Crow for voiceless of course as well, Kirakar because it's searchable and I can just wipe out a whole field if I need to, of course Lightning Storm and Cosmics kind of makes sense. The things that kind of confused folks were the Lancias and the Token Collectors, and the Lancias came up almost every single game, because everyone needed to somehow banish a little bit, so it really stopped voiceless in their tracks when they hit Severa and they didn't have any other plays kind of shut off, so that was really nice. The Token Collector was because I was afraid of seeing Sword Soul, and from what my friends were going against, they played a few Sword Soul and lost horribly to him because of Protoss, so I wanted to shut it off immediately with Token Collector. So yeah, that's the list I decided to do. It felt really consistent. I never really bricked in testing or actually playing. But tonight we're testing with Team Night Shift. On field, you're going to see me and Harrison play a little bit. I misplay a whole bunch, but this is good practice. We're testing it just the night before the YCS, so we're getting our interactions out of the way. We're not playing in the anima zones for most part, and I think that should be good. Yeah, so let's cut to Saturday. Now, before we get to the YCS recap, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So, after finally sitting down 1,900 people for the first day of the YCS, we start off round 1 versus Jackson, who's on voiceless. So Jackson wins the die roll. He does set up a pretty intense board that I just actually can't out. So he gets game 1. We go to game 2, where he does lance in me like right on draw phase, and I have the cross out for it because I did side lance as in. I just didn't know if it was bait or not for something later, so I just held it. But we set up a board that he's not able to play through. He misplays a little bit, so we go to game 3, and game 3, it is an absolute slugfest. We both brick horribly, so we're just back and forth, just beating each other down with different monsters. And he just gets to a point where he's able to outgas me, and with a minute left on the clock, he gets the game. So round 1 goes to Jackson, and we go to round 2. So moving on to round 2, we're up against, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, I believe it was Minying. Super cool dude, actually. We had a really great time, but it's actually the mirror match, and that's actually the horrifying part. But he wins the die roll by, I think I rolled snake eyes and he actually rolled 12, so it really hurt. But he goes first, and he unfortunately bricks by setting 4 pass. So I draw for turn, and I'm able to break and bait through every single interaction he's got, and we take game 1 pretty easily. Game 2, I misplay a little bit, and I just cannot fight through the board he has set up. He has full combo, full snake eye, everything. I get a monster on the field. He pops it with Princess, and I just don't have an extender. So we go to game 3, I'm going first. I have the full board I want to set up. I have Appaloosa for 3, Hot Red Dragon Abyss, Colossus, all that, right? And unfortunately to get to that, I had to pitch a card off Jet Synchron, and it was a tie between Crossout or Nibiru. And if I'm thinking he's got something essential, I decided to pitch the Nibiru, thinking I'd be pretty safe. Turns out I didn't get the read right, and he was playing Power Spell Snake Eye. So he hits me with a Widow Anchor, a Super Poly, a Subversion, and I just get mollywopped. So a very quick game 3, and we go to round 3 next. So for round 3, we're up against a matchup I have not had any practice with in a very long time, and that is Isaiah playing Purely. He wins the die roll, and he makes a pretty big noir I just could not get over, or actually bait out to do anything. So unfortunately game 1 was very quick. We go to game 2, and we're able to play through an Ash Blossom and a Ghost Mourner. We set up everything we wanted to do, and he's able to kind of play through it. He makes another noir, but I do add the Kirakara off of the Snake Eye Ash, and we're able to bait out an interaction, get the cat off the field, and we just kill him for game. So for game 3, he does go first, and we both kind of have awkward hands. I have 4 hand traps and Diabell Star, so if I'm able to keep that, I'm able to get going. He does summon out the White Cat, which I do hit with Valor, but then he talent rips my hand for the Diabell Star, leaving me with DD Crow, Kirakara, and Magnamon. He's able to get the Black Cat on field, and he's able to make a little play, and then he goes Black Cat effect, target the spell in grave. And normally, like most players would, DD Crow gets the spell out of the grave, we're good to go. I forgot I had Crow in hand because I had put it face down, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So he's able to set up into Noir pretty quickly, and I took some time to get to it. So he was able to just sit on it for a while because he knew he had the Kirakara in hand. We're going back and forth for quite a while. We're able to just set up the full board, but, you know, without being able to kill Noir, it was a little bit hard. So what I ended up doing towards the very end, this is like maybe 15 turns later because it was pretty back and forth, I ended up crashing and taking a lot of damage because he put the Noir into attack, triggering the Raging Phoenix to come back in Graveyard, which he does force him to shuffle back, which makes it live for Kirakara to tribute over it, and it's just a straight beatdown over and over. I summoned the Kirakara accidentally in the Anima Zone because I'm stupid, so he takes the Kirakara, gets an Animate for 45, and then I imperm it. So now we're just sitting on Anima on field over and over, and then he gets the D-Fissure, he activates it, and then I draw the Diabell Star, which no longer works because my other monster is Flame Merchant on. So it's another back and forth with nothing going on. I finally top deck a Druis Worm that actually works, and we're just able to take the game from there. So very intense, super fun game of Isaiah, and we go to round 4. Round 4, we're up against Colin playing something super spicy. He's playing Watt Centurion, which I've never seen a Watt card in my life, so I have never known what they've done at all. But I win die roll, so I'm setting up the full Snake Eye board. I'm talking IP in the spell on trap, Flamebird on field, Raging Phoenix up there too. You know, the standard board we make now. past him. His first action is activating Watt Kingdom, and pretty much it negates the effects of anything in the same column as it or a Watt monster. So I have to use IP now. So I make IP into Appaloosa, we get the whole board, all that reset up, and then he just normal summons Watt Giraffe, and he's got to go in for damage. So he goes for direct damage. Apparently he can do a bunch of stuff, but luckily I had Imperm to prevent that. But now my Appaloosa and whatever was under it, I can't remember at this point, is dead. So they don't have their effects right now. He's able to kind of set up some other plays, but we luckily have enough interactions, so we take game 1. So moving on to game 2, this is when I see the Centurion stuff, and that blew me out of the water because I thought he was going to Calamity Lock me, but thankfully he didn't. So he sets up a very awkward board because I had Bestials in hand. I took out the Trudea from graveyard, so he pretty much just ends with an open field, and we're able to just OTK in one go. So it was a super cool list. Like the list was pretty sick. I wish I did a deck profile on it. But Colin, I hope you're watching this video. You're a super cool dude. I hope to meet you again. And let's go to round 5. Round 5, we're up against Tyler playing Voiceless, and we do win the die roll this time. We're able to set up a pretty insane board actually with the Colossus on field. He does Imperm the Colossus, he does activate pre-prep, but I luckily have the Ash, and I think he kind of bricked, so he didn't have anything else after that. We immediately go to game 2. Game 2, I open only Engine, absolutely no hand traps whatsoever, and I think he had the absolute gas or something, because his board was absolutely insane. He had like Saravis on field already, Saravis in hand, Skull Guardian low, so like it was like the most insane Voiceless board I think I've seen in a hot minute. But I was not breaking through that. I didn't open a single thing. I didn't even draw into a board breaker. I drew into another bonfire, and I was like, no, let's just go to game 3, because if I finish early, I can just use the restroom, because the restrooms were a nightmare. Moving on to game 3, we're able to set up a pretty mediocre board. He had an Imperm and a Ghost Spell that stopped a lot of my big plays. So we're able to just pass on a few things here. We're able to go into Apo on his turn, and honestly, that's what ended up winning. Apo just kept negating the stuff from going on. He wasn't able to really get anything else off the field, so we're able to reset the board on the follow-up, and we get the game. So that was round 5. Round 6 was pretty intense. It was honestly just back and forth here between me and the clock because I was trying to find my opponent, and they didn't show up. So we take those. So a nice 45-minute just chill time for me. I was able to just go get some food from the concession, hang with Colby for a little bit. And, but yeah, round 6 was pretty nice and easy, so let's go to round 7. Round 7, we're up against Dennis playing Snake Eye, so another mirror match. He wins the die roll, and he's just setting up a crazy board with hand traps that I just could not play through. So we immediately go to game 2, and I actually smoke screen him, so he goes first, which he was not expecting whatsoever. So he's setting up, and all he can really do is activate Temple, put Snake Eye Ash in Spell and Trap, and pass. And my hand is complete dog shit, so it's just hand traps that don't really work since he didn't do anything. I drew for turn, and I drew into Original Sinful Spoil, which works. I normal summon DD Crow to bait out the Temple, which it does work. He gets Ash on field, gets Poplar to hand, summon Poplar, gets his own spell, and then I do use Original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, get the DD Crow off, and summon Snake Eye Ash. It does get met with Mourner, which is perfect. I do tribute the 2 monsters on field for Kirakara, and I swing for a little bit of damage, and then in my hand still I have an Ash Blossom and a Crossout. So I set the Crossout and I pass, and honestly that should have worked, right? 100% that should have played through. He activates Original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, and I should have ashed it 100%, but in my head I decided to cross out it instead, which gets hard punished because then he just normal summons Snake Eye Ash, and I ashed that, which didn't even matter, so now he has full plays. So because of that, I get knocked out, so we're X3, not going to make day 2. But that's okay. We still had a great time with the YCS. I thought that was super funny. He did too. I was just able to just be done with the game for now, and I was like, finally, I can just go take a nap. So that's the end of our first day of the YCS run. Our friends are still in for the long haul. So yeah, we root for him. And actually, if you guys didn't know, Sam, who is DMD on YouTube, made it to day 2. So congrats to him. We're rooting for him, and we end our run here. So this is day 2 of the YCS. I'm actually by myself this morning, but me, Colby, and Andrew are going to be doing the 3v3, and it's going to be pretty exciting. Trevor, Aiden, and Harrison, geez, I don't know why I don't remember their names right now. They're going to be doing a locals event, so they're not going to do the second day, but you know, they're going to have fun. I'm going to have fun. It's going to be awesome. Let's see how it goes today. So we're back for day 2 of Colby and Andrew. We're doing a 3v3, and round 1, I'm up against Horus, Orcus, Tyr, and I won the die roll, so we're setting up a full board that he's not able to play through. We end with a Colossus as well, so he's not able to access the other half of that engine, or third, whatever. So we go to game 2, and game 2 I just opened up Snake Eye Ash, Bonfire, Ash Blossom, Lancia, and an Imperm, so he's not playing through that. And we get our round, and then Andrew gets his pretty quick too, so we move on to round 2. Round 2, I'm up against Cash Tira, which I was not fully expecting, but everyone we played against this entire weekend was super cool. So I'm playing against Xander, and he pretty much gaslit me. I was like, nah, I'm not playing Shifter, and he dropped Shifter the second I added the Abel Star, so I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Game 1 was actually pretty bad. All I could do was just set Droll and pass. And that's actually what worked out. He was able to beat over the Droll, of course, and he just starts making up combos. He hesitates at the 5th summon. He's like, I'm gonna walk in the nib, and he says, well, I gotta find out. So he makes the summon, and I do nib him, of course. We have Jet Synchron for turn, and I just seal the token, and we get game 1. Game 2, he sets up a board, plays into Anima again, but I have the Kirakara. We're sucking up the monsters and everything, but he just has too much recursion, and I just can't break the board all the way through. Game 3, he didn't see Shifter, thankfully, but I'm not able to make the full board I want to make. He had Bell or something else, but we're able to get into a kind of a grindy game, but overall, he just pretty much just puts me into a death sentence with 2 Flare Metals on field, and I just couldn't play through that without using all the effects. So unfortunately, I lost mine, but Andrew and Colby got theirs really quick, so we move on to round 3. Round 3, I probably played the absolute sweatiest, most intense Yu-Gi-Oh game of my entire life, and I never want to be in that situation again. We're up against Will playing Naturia Runic, and it's actually super scary. So I win the die roll, I'm setting up the full combo, everything. I pass to him, he normal summons, and he just slaps Typhon on field, and I was like, ah, fuck. So I do make an SP, but I decided not to banish the Typhon for some absolute no reason, and unfortunately that's what cost me. So he sits on Typhon, and he's just able to recur and get his resources back. He gets Sleipnir on field, so I'm not able to fully kill anything. So we go to game 2. Game 2, I'm able to set up this crazy board once again. Just make sure this time he gets a normal summon on field. I go ahead and SP, get it off the field. That way if he does do anything else, I'm ready to go. He's not able to get Typhon back to stay for long, and he does misplay a little bit that cost him the grind game. And unfortunately, we get into time. So because of the grind game, we're actually going into game 3, and that's when time gets called. So in a 3v3, you actually can't tie. So what happens was, the judges come to our table, they go, you guys are in sudden death, and we're like, what the fuck does that mean? So pretty much we have to both side, then re-roll a die, and then we have 4 turns total to conclude the game. So luckily I win the die roll, and because he's on Runic, I'm making him go first, because that way I can do damage to him. And I finally drew Ash Blossom for the first time against him, and that actually hurt him a lot. He's able to just not really get much on field. He's got 3 spells in grave, of course, but nothing else really. And my hand is complete engine. It was just Diabell Star, Snake Eye Ash, Snake Eye Oak, Poplar, and I think Temple or something, but it ends up working in our favor. We pretty much just hit the fields, just spamming everything, and we just lay the damage on as much as we can. And that pretty much works out. As long as I could deal over 2,000 damage, I have the game set, because he's not going to be able to recur that much off of Mugen. And that's pretty much what happens. We're able to get that game, and we move on to round 4. Will, if we're watching this video somehow, I would love to get that rematch in. I hate that you win the time in that situation. But I've never sweated more in a Yu-Gi-Oh game in my life, so let's run it back. Going to round 5, we're up against Tyler playing Snake Eyes, and honestly, I must have just been super frazzled by the last round. He sets up a crazy board that I'm able to kind of play through. I get a monster on field, and he gets SP Little Knight out, all that. And I go, SP Little Knight's connected to Zelantis. I just have to use a Link 1 and get the SP to trigger and start playing. In my head, I just go, Battle Phase, and he goes, why? And then he just pops my monster. So that was a very quick game 1. We move into game 2. We're able to set up a pretty intense board. He has the Droll for me, and I'm able to play through it. We set up the full combo. It doesn't hurt us whatsoever. I think he thought I was on the Fire King variant, and I wasn't. So that worked out in my favor. Get game 2. Game 3 is where it was insane. Game 3 was super crazy because my hand going second was Druis Worm, Magnamut, Veiler, and I don't know how I'm going to play through it. He special summons the Abel Star by pitching the Kieran, and I Veiler that. So he sets 1 pass. We're actually able to hold the game out pretty much. Later on, we just sit on 2 Druis Worm control, and we're holding on to it. He gets the Princess somehow, and I'm actually able to stop it, so we pretty much just link off the Druis Worm, send the Princess to grave, attempt to get the Diabell Star back, but he Veilers me, so I pass with just Dark on field. He top decks an Ash Blossom, and I'm thinking if it was me, I'd probably just hold it. But he actually normal summons it, and I didn't realize that that's super smart because Princess now works. So he passes back to me, and I attempt to use Dark to revive the Diabell Star, which he lets go, and on resolution he pops the Ash Blossom, he just normal summon, and then pops the Dark. And I'm thinking, that's crazy, why would you do that? So on a new chain, of course, I go Dark Effect, like, you have a target, I add DD Crow, they have level 1, reset off the D-Bell Star, and we have full combo going through all of it. He's wondering if I can kill him, he's at 25 life because it's in Bestial Beatdown. All I have to do is get Flamebridge on field, push the Princess to Spell and Trap, and that's game. And that's actually what we do. So, very crazy round there. But unfortunately, that's where the run ends. Colby unfortunately got stuck in time and his opponent had the upper hand. So, we get knocked out, but that's okay. I had a great time with Andrew and Colby. But pretty much that's all the events we decided to do. We pretty much just wanted to hang out and just go look at stuff of everybody. But before we end off the video, I just wanted to say YCS Raleigh was one of the best experiences ever I've had in my life. It was super fun being able to play Yu-Gi-Oh all weekend, to spend time with my friends and my wife, just pretty much like a small vacation. Was able to meet some of my biggest inspirations, met Team Sam, who inspired me to play the game and do YouTube, met Jesse Cotton, who inspired me to really start playing competitive, met MBT, Nim, Trell from APS, finally met Himmels, if you guys remember Himmels, met him all the way back in COVID, finally for the first time in person. But honestly, it was just such a great weekend to be able to just do the thing I enjoy the most, spend time with folks and everyone who also enjoyed the game that, you know, brought us all together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this longer episode of Road to Mastery, and we will see you guys next week when we're in a new format.